Get the source.
Yo, happy Monday to everyone. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend. Mine was, well, you know what? I had a great little stretch there from like Tuesday to Saturday. Things were going well for me. Sunday wasn't that great for me. Now, I'm not too stressed about the NBA because I said that I wasn't overly confident. The games felt kind of coin flippy. I was a little surprised about the Nuggets. Thought I was on the right side there. But the Knicks-Pacers one, I was just betting my favorite team. I didn't really have a strong lean either way. But the Braves last night, what in the hell? I had a full unit on the Braves last night in that Padres game. And I was in a position where I was 2-2 in the MLB. So all I needed was the Braves. And I would have been like, okay, you know what? I lost some money in the NBA, but I went 3-2 in the MLB. I'll take it. But the Braves got absolutely crushed. And then they just blew a 5-1 lead just moments ago. So I believe that's 5 losses in a row for the Braves. But we'll get to MLB in a little bit. System Plays is here. First of all, congratulations, bro. You graduated college, right?
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's been a great weekend. Graduated college. Got hammered all weekend, so I haven't been on the show. But, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's just move on from that. So, yeah, this got a Game 7 here. Oilers on the road and Vancouver. Oilers, pretty big favorites here. Game 7 unders. That's what I'm going with. Under 6, minus 120 in first period. Under 1.5, minus 115. Yeah, Game 7 unders have had a great hit rate since 2005. 43, 26, and 9. It's 2-0 this season. The Bruins, Leafs, and Stars and Knights both went under in their Game 7s. Both games ended 2-1. They cashed the under really easily. One of them went to overtime too. Last 3 games in this series have gone under. Even though the Oilers are considered a high-scoring overs team, it hasn't been like that lately. It's been 5-1, 3-2, those kind of games. So, yeah, we got to talk about the line movement here. I mean, this opened at 6.5. And I'm seeing like 5.5 up in some spots. And that's like a massive line movement. It's equivalent to like 5, 6, 7 points in the NBA. That's a full goal moving down. The difference between a 4-2 and 3-2 game is pretty big. So in my experience, any total that moves down, like it's hits the under like a lot of times, like at least in my experience. So yeah, it's a pretty big line move. And I'm not sure if it's because of like all the money coming in on the under or probably a combination of both, because Brock Besser's out for the Canucks for the rest of the playoffs. That's their top scorer on the team. So if they want to win this game, they have to play really well defensively, as they weren't able to do anything last game against the Oilers. They only scored 1 goal. They just got completely dominated. They only scored 1 goal. I think the game plan for the Canucks, just avoid penalties, play good defense. They know they're not going to beat the Oilers in a barn burner, so I think they try to win this like 2-1 or 3-2. They had like 9 shots on goal, like until late in the game, until it was already 5-1. Like that was honestly a pathetic performance by them. Then they got 6 more shots on goal late in the game, but it was already 5-1 at that point. So it was really bad offensive performance by them. Without their top scorer, like my hopes for them offensively are very low. So I think they can do enough defensively to kind of carry the play and just make this go under. We'll see like a 3-2 or 2-1 type of game here.
Yeah, well, you said they're missing their top scorer. That could definitely spark the line movement. Or, obviously, it could be just some sharp money coming in on the under. There's no way to really tell. So you got the under at 6, and I'm looking. It is mostly 5.5 now, but the under at 5.5, you're getting plus 100, plus 102, plus 100. So if you are going to play it at 5.5, you're going to get a really nice price. And if you play the 6, depending on what sports books, you might get, you know what, let me look up the exact to see exactly where that's at now, because he's right. It looks like it was moving quick. So it looks like the total, if you want to play an under, it doesn't show it here. But you could probably get an under 6 at maybe like minus 115, minus 120. So, yeah, under and first period under.
Even if you have like 5.5 on your book, if you can get it all at line, I think there's enough value. It's just buying the extra half a goal. It should be like minus 125. Because that is a pretty significant. It's the difference between like an empty net goal, 4-2, rather than like 3-2 in overtime. So, yeah.
And it sounds like, based on what you said about the Canucks leading scorer being out, that you're if you someone put a gun to your head and pick the winner, you take Edmonton.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about laying minus 160 though, but like I hope they win. I just want to see like a good Canadian team make the finals. So
Yeah,
like,
rather than a bad one.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
Canucks, they'll get dog walked by the Stars in the next round. But yeah,
All right, System Plays. Thanks for joining. Make sure you guys give him a follow on Twitter. That's his name right there. Let's move on to some WNBA basketball. All right, we need Chris's name up here. And let me just make sure I sent Chris an invite. I'm almost positive I did. Yep, I sent Chris an invite 12 minutes ago. So I told him 4 o'clock, though, so we got 9 minutes. What do you guys want to talk about for 9 minutes? Fade Indiana. Didn't the Fever just covered though? I'm pretty sure I noticed right here it says 1-2 against the spread. I've been following it, but looks like the Fever did cover a number. Oh, you know what? Maybe they covered that huge number against the Liberty because I'm pretty sure they were catching like 15.5. Oh, you guys want to talk bad? You guys want to talk bad speed? Let's get down to the nitty gritty and talk some bad speed. What's the hat you're wearing? Dude, it's pretty straightforward. Can you not see it? It's not like cryptic. It literally says the team on it. No, see, someone said bring back the pie chart sauce. Now, I think the live poll is a better indication because those numbers, I don't know where that data is coming from as far as bet percentage, money percentage. I don't know. And then you'll look at one site, it says like public's all over team A, and then you look at another site and it's like the public's all over team B, and it's like, I don't really like that information. So I feel like doing a live poll, at least it gets us a clear indication of what we're thinking as a community. So Vegas Insider is always correct. I mean, based on what? Always correct. How would you even know that? J. Rube live stream with the French Open. When is the French Open? I could ask Jess if she wants to come on. Power says, I like to think we're smarter than the average community. Probably, but then take that into consideration when we're looking at the things. That's why it's not necessarily like, oh, just fade whatever side. I don't even think that information is supposed to be taken like that anyway. No, it's not the public gauge. It's the gauge of how we feel as a community. Let's talk Knicks basketball. I'm good, man. It is disappointing, though. I mean, would have loved to see what the series would have looked like between New York and Boston if Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, and Mitchell Robinson were all healthy. Would have loved to see what that series looks like. But I mean, injuries are part of the sport, and you don't want to be the person that sits there and plays the excuses game. It sucks, but honestly, it was a great season, and as a Knicks fan, I'm optimistic about the future. Real excited to see how we look next year. I'm not the type of person that if like my team loses, my week is ruined. Like, it was a fun season. Hopefully we could stay healthy next year, and I think we could be a really, really strong team in the East next year if we're healthy. So I'm all thumbs up here. It was a great season. I'm happy with it. I'm hurt. Sauce ignored my email. I don't think I got an email from you, man. Were you trying to sell me something? Because then, yeah, you probably did get ignored. Yeah, see, I did say that 1 year away. Actually, I'm on record saying that when we drafted RJ Barrett, 2019. Oh, no, 2020. In 2020, I said our window is 2025. That's where the pieces we have. Now, I didn't expect us to trade RJ Barrett, but it doesn't matter what you do with the pieces. It's the pieces that you have and when they maximize their value. And I said 2025 is the Knicks window. So we'll see. No, I don't think the Knicks need another star. We just need it to be healthy, honestly. Are you a sneakerhead? No, not really. I mean, I have a good collection of shoes, but nothing that is crazy. I sent you a baseball-themed instrumental. Baseball-themed instrumental. I don't think you did. I don't think you did, man. Unless I just missed it or went to spam or something. Yeah, Mario, it was a great series. And I truly think that the Knicks are going to be strong next year. How many hats you got related to betting? Oh, I don't know. A lot. Wait, related to betting specifically or just of sports teams? Because a lot. I hear somebody in my ear. Oh, that's Prop Beaver. Never mind. Healthy Knicks would have absolutely not beat the Celtics. I mean, we would have been underdogs, but I mean, the Knicks are 8-8 in their last 16 games against Boston. We're 3-2 in our last 5 trips to Boston. The Knicks and Celtics, clearly, obviously, the Celtics are the much better team. But as far as the rivalry, it goes back and forth. It's not a one-sided rivalry. We split games with the Celtics, so I don't think it's just set in stone. The Celtics would beat a healthy Knicks team. I think it would have been an awesome series. And let's not pretend like we haven't seen the Celtics look vulnerable as hell. Sauce, you need to go on circles. I have no hard feelings towards them. I'm hoping they let me come on and everything's good. It's fine. Never mind the Nuggets losing a chance to repeat. They cost me a chance at a positive week. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't the Knicks game. Like I said, it was a little coin flippy, but I was pretty comfortable on my Nuggets -4.5. I was surprised. Good for the Wolves, man. I thought usually in that situation, the experienced team at home figures it out, right? Like I feel like we've seen this movie before, and that's how it ends. So good for Minnesota. That was dope. Will you wear a Pacers hat tomorrow? To be honest, I don't know if I have a Pacers hat. I might, actually. I have a lot. If you had to do a futures bet on NBA champions... I guess I'd probably take Minnesota or Boston. People should send you hats. People have sent me stuff. Like there was a guy, he's in the comments sometimes. He sent me shirts that I've worn on here, like for his company. All right, got 2 more minutes. Chris is usually on time, so. There's some real meatheads in this chat. Yeah, man, we're a group of sports gamblers. It's not going to be a bunch of scientists. It's just the nature of it, man. Lindor back in Cleveland today. Is this his first time going back to Cleveland? I'm sure he's been back. Is that Andy? Is this Francisco Lindor's first series? Is it really? Oh. Lindor's home run in Cleveland against the Yankees, I think, is the most electric baseball clip ever. I watch that all the time. That Lindor home run against the Yankees. So Andy just came through. The Mets did play a series. Was Lindor healthy? They did play a series in Cleveland. No, they didn't play in Cleveland last year. So you were wrong. So they played the Guardians last year, but they were in New York. So this, I believe this will be Francisco Lindor's first trip back to Cleveland. Kyle, you see the end of the Guardians-Twins game? No. I did the I was doing the girlfriend thing yesterday, so I wasn't watching it directly. I saw it was 2-1. Then I saw, wow, my voice cracked. So I saw Cleveland, Clase blew it, but he didn't give up a hit or a walk. So it looks like he blew it on an error. And then I saw the final score 5-2. So I didn't see exactly what went down, but it looks like Clase might have got screwed there, just based off the box score. We need more NASCAR videos. Yeah, man. I mean, I would like to have time to do them. But when baseball and NBA playoffs, it's tough. Maybe when NBA playoffs end and I have a little more time over the summer, I could do something. Kyle, can you kill the 999 challenge? No idea what that is, but 9 hot dogs? That's disgusting. I mean, can I do it? Yeah. Will I do it? No. Sounds like my stomach hurts. Just Andy reading that off to me made my stomach hurt. All right, Chris, what's up, friend?
What up, Kyle? How are you, sir?
Great, man. Great. It was a fun weekend. Yesterday, bets didn't go as planned, but overall I had a good Friday and Saturday and a good week, so I'm not stressing over losing Sunday. Want to jump right into it? WNBA?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Indiana Fever, I'm showing 1-2 against the spread, so it looks like the Fever did cover a number.
Yeah, they covered that last game against against the Liberty. Remember the other day I said Liberty, my favorite bet of the day, the Liberty first half at home against Caitlin Clark.
I do remember.
I said I didn't think, a lot was going to change, and they won that pretty easily. I think they were up by like 15. But the Liberty have this thing, Kyle, where they really don't, like full game, it's kind of like they take their foot off the gas. Kind of like the Boston Celtics, where they have a really strong first half. I was looking through some trends, and, because they do play tonight, and we'll talk about that game in a second. But looking at this one, we got the Connecticut Sun. We've seen this matchup. Dejanay Carrington already locked up Caitlin Clark, to start the season. But now we get a change of venues here. And the only thing that's worth noting on the injury report is that Rachel Branham, she's one of the role players for the Connecticut Sun. She will be out for this one. So it does take a little bit of the depth away from Connecticut. She can stretch the floor. She's like probably one of the better three-point shooters in the league. But I don't think it means that much, honestly. I actually played Connecticut minus the 4. I gave it out yesterday because I kind of figured this line would move just a tad bit. And if I had to play it right now, I'd probably still lay the points. I'd probably still lay with Connecticut. I see the line moved up to 6. I think that's where it's currently at, right? 6. Oh, it's 6.5 now.
Well, that's what I made the graphic, but I'll check now,
okay.
See if it's still there.
Okay.
So I'm seeing 6s. No, there's 6s. There is a couple 6.5s, but it's mostly 6.
Coming back down to 6, yeah. I think, and I kind of figured it would move. Maybe if the refs are, like Dejanay Carrington pick up some early fouls or something like that, Caitlin Clark can kind of get going. But I mean, like I said this, and I'm sounding like a repeat, like a broken record here, Kyle. But as long as she's gonna be playing, not just Caitlin Clark, but as long as this Indiana Fever team are gonna be playing against some of the elite teams, like they play this will be their 4th game this year. Excuse me. They've played against 2 teams that made the playoffs last year, and they got the number 1 draft pick. That should just kind of put things in perspective for you. Like, this is a team that got the number 1 draft pick, which is how they got Caitlin Clark, and they're playing against 2 teams that made the playoffs, and the Liberty, who went all the way to the final. So, just looking deeper into it, Connecticut is their 5th in scoring, they're 3rd in field goal percentage, they're 3rd in fewest turnover rate, 1st in the limited opponent rebounds, 1st in opponent turnover rate, so they're forcing the most turnovers, and they're allowing the fewest points in the WNBA. That Connecticut have been playing really, really well. And on the opposite, looking at Connecticut, just going back to last season, because they do have a lot of the same players. Last season, they finished 12-2 as road favorites, 9-4-1 against the spread. So they were cashing about 70% of the time last season.
Wait, are you on Connecticut? Do I have the wrong graphic up?
Yeah, I'm on Connecticut. I said Connecticut minus 4.
Oh, for some reason I thought you said Indiana, and then I'm listening. I'm like, he sounds like he's making a case for the Sun. So my bad, everyone. So he's on the Sun. I must have heard the first couple sentences wrong.
No. I just don't think anything's going to change here until she gets, like, I checked their schedule, Kyle. They do got some games like against the Sparks. I think it'll be easy against some of the, the weaker competition, but these and I know that they're at home, but we just saw, the Liberty come in there and absolutely, smoke them at home as well. Connecticut, like I said, they play really well on the road. Last season, 12-2 straight up, 9-4-1 against the spread, covering about 70%. And they also finished 9-5 to the under because their defense played a little bit better on the road than it did at home as well, kind of like the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I think that, I think all of those things kind of continue. And I like their bench as well. You look at the Fever side of things, this team is last in rebounding. They turned the ball over at the 4th highest rate. They're forcing the 4th fewest turnovers, and they're allowing the most points. They're giving up 95 points per game through their first 3 games. So, I like Connecticut here to keep it moving. I know it's pretty square, but WNBA lines can be like that sometimes.
Yeah, and when with all the publicity Caitlin Clark's getting and coming off a cover, I would imagine they're taking some action on Indiana just on the star power. But yeah, you know what? I won't be betting this, but I'll put Sun up for me too because I'm a Dejanay Carrington fan. I follow her on Instagram, so I'm a Sun Dream. Those are my teams. All right, so let's go with next up. We got one more game: Seattle, New York, and the girl in New York, Sabrina, the pump fake pass that she hit and was like
crazy,
cold. I don't click the like button on Instagram often. I'm very selective with that got a like for me. I was like, she was like, who is this? Like, who is this youngster out here? That was awesome.
Yeah. They gonna keep. I think they're just gonna keep doing that. Doing stuff like that to her. Did you see the screen that Stewie set on her? She actually looked like she ran into a brick wall.
Yeah, I saw that. But that one, I feel like that can happen to anyone playing basketball. You don't see a screen. The pump fake pass was cold blooded, man. Like,
yeah.
It was awesome. So yeah, I'm a fan of Sabrina. How do I say her last name? It's like Ayahuasca. Ionescu. Okay, Sabrina Ionescu. Yep. And another list of my favorites, just from one clip. I'm sold. Love her.
Yeah. So Kyle. So after we did I gave out first half under yesterday in this game, and it was a winner. I did end up playing Seattle. I waited for the line to get down to 4.5 yesterday when Nneka Ogwumike got rolled out, jumped on Seattle. So got 2 winners in the WNBA yesterday out of 1 game, which made me feel really, really good. WNBA has been saving me. I if I'm being honest, definitely been saving me. And I told you that this was going to be a terrible spot for him. I didn't bet it though. I did not bet it, and I probably should have. You get the Seattle team. They traveled from DC yesterday. Before that, they only had 1 day off. Remember, the game you was on them, that was on Friday night when they were in Minnesota, and we all thought they were going to bounce back in that game, and they ended up going to double overtime and losing as well. So This is the 3rd game in 4 nights. They also have a double overtime in there as well. And this line opened at 9.5 is already up to 12.5. And a lot of it, I think, is just that. They should get the doors blown off of them today. The problem I have here with laying such a big number is that New York has notoriously not covered these big numbers at home. So I think the value's kind of sucked out of this one. I actually would probably want to look at Seattle plus the points. I know it's not for the faint of heart here, but if I had to play the game, I think at this point, that's where I would be looking. I just think that they could run out of gas late in this game. New York finished just 5-9 when they were double-digit favorites last season. And a lot of it is what we kind of saw in the game on Saturday against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, where if you want Connecticut, or if you want the Liberty, you want to get in and get out with them, like first half, because typically they play their best brand of basketball. And the other thing about the W that's a little bit different than the NBA is the benches are not always created equally. Like some of these bench players are really, really bad. So if you like overs, it's one of the reasons why I like to play the first half overs, because if you see the bench, if this game does get out of hand, like the Liberty could throw out a team out there and with the second unit that can't score the basketball. And it could be an easy backdoor cover here for Seattle. So Nneka Ogwumike is listed as questionable after rolling that ankle and missing yesterday's game. I'm not sure if she's going to play here or not, but it's just a really, really bad spot for Seattle. 12.5 it's a tad bit too much for me to lay here. So I would be looking at Seattle, potentially getting the backdoor cover here, plus the 12.5.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a rough start to the season for them, right? They lost twice as favorites.
Absolutely.
So our community's on the Liberty there. 57%, 26%. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, we're on to baseball now. Chris?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man. Make sure you guys give Chris a follow. And we'll see you back to talk some Boston Celtics Pacers tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's tomorrow?
Sir.
Tuesday? I think UCapper might be with us.
Okay. That'll work. Best of luck tonight, Kyle. I'll catch you guys later. Best of luck to the community.
Yes, sir. Later. All right, let's see if looks like we have one of the guys here. I told these guys 4:15, so Toast will be here within the next 6 minutes. How was your weekend?
It was a good weekend. Hung out with the fellas. My boy's dispensary that he opened last year was his 1-year anniversary, so we celebrated that. That was cool. What else? I had a winning Friday, I think it was 4-0. That was sick. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, pretty decent weekend. Got a nice walk in by the beach yesterday. So yeah,
that sounds exciting.
God bless America. Yeah.
All right,
It was wholesome.
It was a wholesome weekend.
Yeah. Good for the soul.
Someone goes, did a bunch of drugs. It was cool.
Did I? Well, speaking of drugs, you called Sabrina Ionescu Sabrina Ayahuasca. The fuck is that about?
I didn't know who she was. Am I supposed to know who that is? I don't understand. I don't watch the WNBA.
If there's WNBA women to know, I would say she's one of them.
I know a lot of WNBA players. I didn't know her.
She was going band for band with Curry at the 3-point competition, and you don't know her?
Yeah, because I'm sitting there watching the All-Star Weekend. It's designed for kids, man.
The disrespect. She worked hard to get that level.
Am I also going to go on and debate the dunk contest? No, this dunk was a 9.5. Like, no, it's for kids.
No, I
don't watch that stupid
shit.
shit.
The dunk contest is a travesty. And if Angel Reese was in
You're
the dunk
doing it right now.
contest,
What I was just making fun of, you're
it.
doing it. It's a travesty because you're no longer 11 years old, and that's who it's marketed for.
No.
All right, so Mets, Cleveland, and guys, Meatball McGill making a road start. How do we not bet Cleveland? I didn't place a bet in this game. I do have three MLB bets open right now. This isn't one of them. A little worried that Cleveland is missing a couple bullpen arms, but so are the Mets. There's no way I would take the Mets here, but I'm also a little hesitant about pulling the trigger on Cleveland. So Toast is not hesitant.
I know.
Not at all. Not at Cleveland at home. Go ahead, Beaver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know a guy I know on Twitter, John Stetson. He's on the Mets first 5 here. Basically, he feels good about what McGill has put together in his rehab starts. I don't really care about that. I think that he has some really good points there. He's a guy I respect, so that makes me a bit nervous about this one. But I still think that the Cleveland Guardians put up some runs here. McGill, a guy who I just don't trust whatsoever. It's going to be his first start back from injury. And sure, he looked good in the rehab starts, but Justin Verlander looked horrible in his rehab starts, and he looks amazing thus far. So could be the inverse effect here. You never know how those actually translate to the first MLB start back. In his career, McGill has struggled majorly in 2 splits, away and against lefties. Well, now he's on the road, and he's facing a lineup with 7 lefties, including Josh Naylor and Jose Ramirez. This lineup has been extremely hit or miss against righties thus far through the first 5 last 2 weeks. 19th WRC plus, 18th ISO, 20th OBP. Nothing to really write home about. I don't really know if that matters because McGill on the road has allowed 3+ runs in his last 9 of 11 starts, averaging 4.2. And his opponents have cashed over 4.5 runs in 8 of 11 starts, averaging 6.3. The Guardians are over their team total of 4.5 their last 5 of 7 games as well, averaging 6 runs per game. While the Guardians have struggled against starting righties lately, they've been doing extremely well against bullpens. Top 7 in all 3 ranks over the last 30 days. And this Mets bullpen is falling apart at the seams. The arm that I trust most right now, Reed Garrett, he just went yesterday for 2 innings, got the save. I think he threw 34 pitches. He's not going to be available, and this Mets bullpen on the road has been bad. What I think is the icing on the cake here is the beautiful weather we got. 15% home run boost, 15% extra base boost, 12% run boost. Winds blowing out the center. I'm on the Guardians team total over 4.5, plus 105. Got this at plus 116 last night. Still like it at plus 105 today.
Guardians team total over. I might be more inclined to tail that. The Cleveland money line sketches me out a little bit. Toast is on it, though.
You goddamn right I'm on it. Cleveland at home, baby. 15-6 at home. We keep on riding this money train until it stops. Yeah, Ben Lively, a guy that's been somewhat average, but he's coming off his worst 2 starts of the year, giving 3 runs each on the road. But his previous 2 starts at home, he looked pretty damn good. Against LA, he went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits in a run. At home against Boston, 6 1/3, 5 hits in a run. And like Beaver said, Meatball McGill on the road versus a whole bunch of lefties. Those are the spots you want to fade him. Here it is in a beautiful spot. And then as the bullpen situation, I guess I can understand your hesitation with Cleveland, but I actually think that Clase will be available, even though he's gone 2 of the last 3 days after that mishap he had the other day. And then Gaddis has only thrown 15 pitches in the last 5 days. So I actually think Cleveland has 100% of their bullpen rest are ready to go. And then if you take a look at the Mets bullpen, it's kind of like a paint by numbers. Keep in mind, Diaz was crying in the locker room because he's not a closer anymore. He's a middle reliever now. Ottavino is good, but Reed Garrett, like Beaver said, has went 3 of the last 4 days. Dykman's went 3 of the last 4 days. Sean Reed Foley, who's one of their better relievers, went 23 pitches yesterday. I think this is a great Cleveland spot. I'm all over Cleveland today.
Leave it everyone in the comments. You've started a pandemic on bat speed. Everyone's like, what about the bat speed?
We're going to talk about it tonight.
Let's get right into the nitty gritty. Let's talk bat speed.
The show isn't for the nitty gritty. Okay, this is like a general overview.
So this is a pass for me. There's no way I bet the Mets. If I was to bet this, I would be tailing one of these guys. But I don't know. The price seems weird. I don't like it.
The only thing I think is weird about the price is maybe the Mets score some runs here because the Mets are pretty damn good against righties on the road. Still 5th in WRC plus this season. But I mean, other than that, I don't know. I mean, maybe Meatball McGill actually goes in and throws a gem here. I just refuse to believe that with the way his entire career has gone. A guy's name is Meatball McGill. We're backing him on the road.
Well, we gave him
Absolutely not.
I don't know if that's actually his name. We call him that, but like that's
It might as well be his name. He's not a very good starting pitcher.
His mom doesn't call him Meatball McGill. That's like what we call him.
Well, maybe he likes meatballs.
I don't.
For me, for me with McGill, it's not necessarily like even if he pitches well, I don't see him going past 5 innings or so. And if you're going to give me multiple shots at this Mets bullpen that I understand to perform better on the road, but again, Cleveland at home has just been a different animal. So
someone goes, he came out of the womb, Meatball.
Yeah.
All right, let's go next game. Brewers Marlins. All right, so I looked at this game, but I didn't bet it, and I can't remember what my thoughts are. I did look at the game, though, because I remember looking at weathers. I can't remember what my thoughts are in this game, to be honest. I didn't bet it, though. I can tell you that.
I took Ryan. Yeah, what'd you take?
Go ahead, Beaver. I took the Brewers money line. That has nothing to do with your bet.
Yeah, I mean, Ks and runs have no correlation. So I took Brian Weathers over 4.5 Ks. I like this a lot as a buy low spot for Weathers, and it seems with the line movement, they agree. Weathers is under his last 4 or 5 starts, averaging just 4.2 Ks. But look at who we faced in that span. Atlanta. That was at Atlanta. 14th in K percentage through the first 5, 12th against his mix. 3 versus Washington. 4th through the first 5, 10th against his mix. 5 at Oakland. 18th through the first 5, 19th against his mix. 3 at LA. 5th, 3rd against his mix. 4 at Detroit. 5th, 6 against his mix. So he's faced some extremely tough competition in terms of K percentage against starting left-handed pitching and against his pitch mix. Now he's going to face a Milwaukee offense that before facing the gas can that is Martin Perez has struggled mightily against left-handed pitching. I mean, before that matchup, 20th in WRC+, 17th in ISO, 17th in OBP, 27th in K percentage, and they were even worse specifically against this pitch mix during that span. 30th in OBP, 29th in slug, 30th in batter run value, 28th in K percentage, 26th in whiff rate. The 4 lefties the Brewers have faced on the road thus far have combined for 20 innings of 2.25 ERA baseball. We got Reagans with 8 Ks. Quintana barely went under at 4 Ks, but perhaps most notably to me, Bailey Falter had 8 Ks. If Bailey Falter had 8 Ks, I think my guy Ryan Weathers at home, where he sees a 12% increase in K rate, could get 5 Ks here. He has 5, 3, and 10 Ks at home. And with Rhys Hoskins still out of the lineup for Milwaukee, one of their most productive and most disciplined bats against lefties, I feel like there's a lot of value in backing Weathers here. Some books have this at minus 150 right now. And I was looking at the lineup they dropped. 2 of the guys at the back end of that lineup have a 40+% K percentage against lefties thus far. That's 2 of them. I believe there are 5 or 6 guys total with a K percentage of 25% plus versus lefties heading into this matchup. So this is just a really juicy matchup for Weathers to back up the Ks. I feel like I'm doing pretty well right now reading those K lines. I feel like this is a sharp spot to hop on that over.
Okay, someone in the comments said, can someone convince me to put a unit on the Brewers money line? Toast, you're on the Brewers.
I'm on the Brewers. I don't have a full unit on it, but yeah, I'm on the Brewers here. I'm just not going to overthink it. I don't think that Miami's a good baseball team. I understand that they've looked good. They've won 5 games. They're 5-5 their last 10, and they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a 5-6 their last 5 wins out of their last 6 games, whatever, against the Mets and Detroit. Neither one of those teams are playoffs teams. I understand that Milwaukee has been kind of hit or miss at times, but those 2 games that they lost in Houston, I mean, the 4-5 game with the Pena home run, I mean, they could have easily won that game. And then that Sunday game, they just kind of got throttled. It is what it is. But I just think that Milwaukee's playing too good right now. Joe Ross is not somebody that I'm going home to ride off on the sunset about, and now he's a bet on pitcher or anything, but I think he's serviceable. He has decent numbers. Miami, those only 3 guys in the Miami lineup that have seen him. Brewers have everybody rested and ready to go in their bullpen, not to mention the Miami bullpen is kind of taxed from yesterday. Everybody's going to be available, but I still think the Brewers hold the advantage there. So I just took the Brewers at a short price.
The only
Something that supports Joe Ross here is the fact that he has some really nice splits against lefties. Those are the Marlins' key bats right now. Those are the guys that are producing for him. So,
if I was to place a bet on this game based on what these guys said, it would be here under 8.5. But I will not be this one. I have 3 MLB bets down. This is not one of them. So our community's all over the Brewers in this one. 69%, 20%. Next game. Twins Nats. This is Toast. I bet this one, and this of my 3 bets, this is my least favorite.
Oh, I mean, I actually think it's a really good spot for them. So
you like the Nets too?
Yeah.
Okay, so me and Toast are both on the Nets. So here's, all right. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so here are my thoughts. So first, let me get the graphics up for us. And me and Toast both took Nats money line here. I think Mitchell Parker can pitch a great game here against a Twins lineup that's underwhelming in general, underwhelming on the road, underwhelming against lefties. Mitchell Parker, I know that he definitely had some rough patches in there, but we've also seen him flash some really, really good games in there too. So I think Mitchell Parker at home can pitch a great game here. Bullpen-wise, Twins used Duran 2 of the last 3. Washington's got their main guys. And also, I don't even know how I feel about the Twins bullpen in general. So as a whole, I think this is really coin flippy, and plus 140 with the home team sounds great to me. Here's why it's the least favorite bet, the least favorite ticket that I'm holding right now. I think it's very possible Pablo Lopez throws a gem. And it doesn't mean necessarily we're going to lose if he throws 7 innings, 1 run. But I think it's very possible Pablo Lopez absolutely deals today, which obviously severely decreases our chances of winning. So I'm a little worried about Pablo Lopez bouncing back after a bad start against a Nats lineup I don't trust. But overall, I don't trust the Twins bats. Don't trust them against lefties. Don't trust them on the road. Don't trust the Twins bullpen. So there's just too many don't trusts in there for me to not take a shot at plus 140. I bet it. I'm holding it, but I'm nervous about Pablo Lopez. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I can't really add too much more. It's just here. My thoughts on this are this. I understand that Washington has went on a little bit of a losing streak. The 2 games against the White Sox, unexcusable. But they go in against the Phillies. I really think. Sunday it got out of control in the later innings, but they really played the Phillies close all 3 of those games. I understand they lost all 3, but Washington was in those games. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Mitchell Parker has 2 starts at home. Everything else has been on the road. The 2 starts at home have been awesome. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs against the Astros. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs against Baltimore, a team that absolutely smashes left-handed pitching. And then Pablo Lopez, if you look, it's like the Twins only want him to pitch at home. His road starts, last 2 road starts, or let's go last 3 because he had 1 good one in there. 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs against on the road at Anaheim or the Angels. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run against Baltimore. Good job. And then on the road at Detroit, 4 innings, 6 hits, and 5 runs. And keep in mind, he faced this Washington lineup last year at home, went 4 innings, gave up 8 hits and 5 runs. I understand that Washington's coming home from a big, long road trip, but that road trip from Philadelphia to Washington's very, very small. I actually trust that Washington bullpen. I think they've been better than people think they are. They're all rested and ready to go. This number is just way too big for this Twins team that's not playing good baseball right now. 3-7 their last 10. The only time that they're winning games is against the shitty-ass Blue Jays and the White Sox. I'll take my chances with the Nats plus 140.
It looks like our chat thing froze here. And I tried refreshing it. Nothing's popping up. Sorry about that. Hopefully it just pops up and starts working again. Prop Beaver. Someone said in the comments, it looks like Prop Beaver's itching to disagree. What are your thoughts?
Oh, no.
Not at all. I think both of these guys could throw a gem here. I got Mitchell Parker under 2.5 earned runs at minus 105. I feel like this is a bit of an overreaction. He's gone over his last 2 or 3 starts. They were against the weak Texas and weak Chicago White Sox, but they were also both on the road. You look at the 2 home starts for Mitchell Parker against the Astros and the Orioles, the 4th and 1st ranked offenses versus lefties this season, and he only allowed 2 combined runs in that game. That is wildly impressive. On top of that, if we just look at the splits thus far, it's a small sample size, but ERA significantly better, WOBA significantly better, K to BB percentage, WHIP, FIP, all better at home. And now on paper, you would think, yeah, the Twins are a tough challenge against lefties, 10th in WRC+, 11th in ISO, 14th in OBP. But I feel like those ranks are very misleading. See, the Twins had a nice run where they smacked 3 lefties in a 5-day span. They hit up Detmers, Sandoval, and Crochet. Detmers and Crochet both struggling mightily at the time. Detmers still struggling. But look at the other 8 lefties to face them. So the trio that I just mentioned, 7.98 ERA, 1.84 WHIP. The other 8 lefties to face this team, 2.03 ERA, 0.9 home run per 9, 0.84 WHIP. A 0.84 WHIP. These guys are just not getting on base. All 8 of those other lefties were able to keep the Twins under this mark, including 4 straight. And as good as the Twins have been overall against lefties this season, look at their numbers against Parker's main 3 pitches from lefties thus far. 27th in OBP, 26th in barrel rate, 25th in batter run value. I just feel like with Parker having a short leash, just 83 pitches his max thus far. The less potential batters we face, the less likely we run into trouble staying under our number. I'm going to take my chances fading this overrated Twins offense at that great number.
Yeah, and it seems
And I
like...
also...
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the one thing that the Twins really struggle with, too, I was reading about, is curveballs. Mitchell Parker has a really decent curveball, so I wouldn't mind some Ks, too. For Mitchell Parker.
You would a strikeout over for Parker, too?
If it's low enough. I'm not good in that market, but I know how well his curveball is and how bad the Twins struggle with curveballs, so I could see them racking up some Ks.
Cool.
The
and it seems
3.5 was juiced to the gill, so I couldn't get
Got
there.
it. Makes sense.
Seems like a lot of people in the comments are feeling the same way we do. Mario said he's on the first 5 under. Benny above said he's on the under. So I did go back and forth between Washington and the under. The under is all the way down at 7.5, and then I'm sacrificing my plus 140 payout. So I felt I did go back and forth, and I felt that the plus 140 was worth the shot. So I'm on it.
And to back you, that's kind of where I mean, I wasn't going to play the under, but the fact that the total is at 7.5, that runs are going to be at a premium. I'll take my chances with that home team as a big dog.
And someone asked about the second game of the Braves Padres. We always skip double headers. And if you rewind back to when we first started this show, Toast is the one that was saying that, like, I don't want to bet the double headers. And I was like, stop being a coward. I'll bet it. And I learned the hard. And then it had like 3 or 4 times where like someone was pulled from the lineup. They like blatantly just didn't use their closer for no reason. And I was like, yeah, no, he's right. Never again. Never again am I doing this doubleheader crap.
And honestly, it's like that today. I mean, the Padres got randomly lucky in the late innings, and now here they are playing again against Chris Sale. I mean, yeah, I would assume that the Braves steal this one, but at the same time, I mean, you're really going to have to pay a price for it. I mean, do you really want to step in front of that? No.
Yeah, geez. I mean, they had all the momentum in the world to win the first game, and they couldn't get it done. Now you got to pay that price for them.
Should have won last night. Should have won last night.
Yeah, if anything, this team is emotionally void right now. They are probably like
on with the
devastated.
Braves?
Yeah,
what's going on with the Braves? I think it's 5 losses in a row for Braves now.
Wouldn't that be something if the Padres take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers, get swept by the Rockies, and then come in and sweep the Braves? Games?
You know what?
That's Friars baseball.
So if you remember, and I'm sorry to hold the show up, this will only be about 30 seconds. So if you remember, rewind back earlier in the season on this show, when everyone were trashing the Mets in the comments, and I said there will be a point in this season where every single team will lose 5 games in a row. And everyone was like, the Braves are never going to lose 5 games in a row. Well, Sabrina. They lost 5 in a row. Sabrina.
I mean,
she did this.
Wait.
Who the hell's Sabrina?
Oh, that's right. You guys weren't even on for the WNBA segment. I was thinking you were sitting. Never mind. The Braves lost 5 in a row. That's the point I'm making. Red Sox race.
Okay.
Red Sox race. I was kind of hoping to pick your guys' brain here. I did look at this game. I like Tanner Houck. I like betting Tanner Houck away from Fenway Park, but the Rays bats are coming to life. Taj Bradley could be an ace, and he could also be the worst pitcher in the league in the same sentence. I have no idea what to do here. I could see
you can't pick my brain on immediate rematches because I don't cap them. So
not to mention that, and for me, if the Rays are playing the Red Sox, I play the Rays. Rays are, let me get the number right, 3-11 plus 3.
The other way, to be honest.
Yeah, Tampa Bay 14-3 against Boston the last 17 times these two teams have played. Do I think that Boston can win this game? Yes, but at the same time, Tanner Houck doesn't have a great history against Tampa Bay. He's never really faced Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay as a starter. I do think that after 3 not good performances that we see a very good Tanner Houck. So maybe an under here. But yeah, I lean Boston. It's just really hard for me to get there. Not to mention you have
you lean Boston.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, my bad. I misheard
I'm not
you.
betting it. I'm not betting it because Tampa Bay always wins these series. That's all. But Tampa Bay coming home from a long road series where they just played Boston and Toronto, now coming back without a day's rest. This is definitely a Boston spot, especially after that 11-run outburst yesterday. But yeah, I don't know if I can actually do it.
I mean, that's the way I was leaning also. But I don't know. The Red Sox lineup, man. I don't know. It was Boston or pass for me. You didn't even. You're passed on this one, Prop Beaver?
Didn't even take a look at it.
Yeah, screw it. Let's go to the next one. Doesn't sound like any of the three of us are interested in this. 49% of our viewers said they would bet the Rays. 43% Red Sox. So even the viewers are split on this one. No really lean either way. Seattle Yankees, and I prediction for what's about to happen in the next 75 seconds on this show. I'm going to say, I really want to bet Seattle, and Toast's going to say, I'm doing it, and I'm going to say, let's do it, and we're going to lose.
I'm only doing first 5.
I knew it. I knew it. Without even talking to him, I knew that he was going to be like, I'm on Seattle.
Yep. Don't have anything besides my gut. I just feel like, yes, the Yankees are playing really good baseball. They just beat up on a bad Rays team, a bad Twins team, and a really bad White Sox team. Seattle is win one, lose one, win one, lose one. It's usually I'm going to be on here talking about Logan Gilbert on the road, especially after he got throttled his last start. But I will say that the Yankees have owned Logan Gilbert in his three career starts. Well, he has had 4 career starts. He had 1 gem in 2021. The next 3, 6 runs, 7 runs, 7 runs, all with lower than 5 innings pitched. I just think that this is a time that Logan Gilbert can come in here and shove and pitch pretty well against this Yankees team. And Stroman coming off that 6-inning gem that he had against Minnesota, I think that he gives up a couple. I honestly feel like Logan Gilbert can hold this Yankees team to 1 or 2 runs in the first 5 or 6 innings. And if that's the case, I think that Seattle has a shot here. So I played Seattle first 5. I didn't play the full game because I don't know. That Seattle bullpen can be hit or miss at times. And that Yankees bullpen has been nails. Clay Holmes has went 2 of the last 3 days, but he only went 4 pitches yesterday. I would assume he's available today. Not to mention Luke Weaver's been really good for them as well. So I don't really want to deal with the full game. But yeah, I do think that Seattle in this first 5 has a definite chance here. So I did bet Seattle in the first 5.
I mean, Logan Gilbert on the road, I like. Stroman coming off a good start when he was pretty bad for a stretch before that. I like it, but the Yankees bats are like first in everything across the board. Yeah. They're the hottest lineup in baseball. So I don't think I could actually do it here. And also, Prop Beaver's on almost the opposite of you. Not direct opposite.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Plus 130 for this price for the Yankees through the first 5. I mean, I'm not even the biggest Logan Gilbert guy. They cashed his number in 6 straight games against starting right-handed pitching, averaging 5 runs. Sure, you could talk about the 3 righties they faced the last 3 games. What about the 3 righties they faced in Minnesota? I would consider all those guys pretty quality starting right-handed pitching. 11 of 14 starting righties to visit Yankee Stadium this year have gone over the number, averaging 4.4. And in an otherwise great season, we've really begun to see Gilbert look a bit mortal his last 2 starts, and those were both against inferior lineups to this Yankees lineup. He is, as we mentioned, gotten murdered by the Yankees in the past, allowing them to cash 3 straight, averaging 5.3. His hits allowed line is at 5.5, a line he's gone under in 8 and 9 games this season with 5+ hits allowed. Gilbert has allowed 3+ earned runs his last 27 to 40 games. His outs line is at 17.5 and barely juiced over, a line he's flown over in 6 or 7 starts this season. With 18 or less outs, he's allowed 3+ earned runs his last 10 of 14 road games. Mr. Road Warrior averaging 3.7 runs allowed. With how profitable the Yankees bats have been at home and Gilbert struggled against them, I think it's worth a light play on some runs here early. You're going to give me plus 130 to back the Yankees here through the first 5. I'll fade Logan Gilbert, no problem. I'm not afraid of him.
No, I can't. I guess it would be Yankees or Pat. I'm not betting it because the Mariners have the significant starting pitching advantage. Logan Gilbert on the road is reliable. And Stroman hasn't shown us much this year. So the Mariners do have the sizable starting pitching advantage. But I can't. The Yankees bats are too hot. So it'd be Yankees or pass. I'm not betting it, though.
I get it. Yankees have own Minnesota.
You know what? Hold on. What about this?
Makes sense.
What about this? That way, what about an over? Mariners get to Stroman.
I'm fine with that. I mean,
Yeah, what about
the
it?
Strowman character is not
Do I
good.
want to add? Do I need to add a fourth bet tonight, though? I think I'm pretty comfortable with my 3. Because Mariners, Strowman. I don't trust the Mariners lineup, but it's at night. It's against a righty and Strowman, a guy who walks a lot. Yankees. I like Gilbert on the road, but it's the Yankees, the hottest lineup in baseball. Over.
Strowman's also looked a lot better at home. I mean, not better, worse at home.
Nah, I'm not betting it. It'll be over or pass, but I'm not betting it. All right, so what game are we on there? Detroit, Kansas City. And thanks for tuning in to another episode of Toast is Wrong, sponsored by Old Spice.
Yeah. Bet Reese Olson and see how that would treat you. Go
I
ahead.
did.
Spew it out.
All right, let me get the poll running.
I
And
think
when
there's pretty compelling sides for both of you being wrong here.
And when
It's a really tough
Detroit
one.
scores 1 run, and you're going to be like, God damn it.
All
Why
right,
don't they score for this guy?
So if you haven't figured it out, me and Toast are on the opposite sides here. And I have a full unit on it. So we're on opposite
Oh,
sides.
Jesus. You have a full unit on this, Kyle?
I
Really?
like
Did you
it.
check the
What an
prop
idiot.
lines?
What an idiot.
The prop lines. No.
What an
Yeah,
idiot.
dude. Reese Olson's lines are pure charity tonight.
He's about to
What?
get lit up.
Yeah, dude. He's about to get shelled.
Reese Olson's been absolutely dealing.
You're right.
And
he
the,
has.
and the books gave out pure free money tonight,
Yep.
if that's the case.
They have him as underdogs.
Barely.
God.
They have him as, what, a minus
Yeah, it's
110?
the Royals at home. What kind of what were you supposed to
Yeah,
have
the
them as
Royals at
favorite?
home. They're only 18-8 this year at home. They
They're
never play
18
well
and
at
8,
home.
but they're 7-0 against the White Sox in Oakland. Meaning,
Okay.
without those two teams, they're actually only 11 and 8. The Tigers are 13 and 10 on the road, which would actually be about the same record. Tigers have been a good road
Yeah,
team.
if you just
Tigers
ran, okay,
bats
so
are coming to life.
let's just make sure that the Tigers didn't play either two of those
They
teams.
played
on
the White
road.
Sox.
Hold on.
First series of the year. That's it.
Okay, so then take away your 3, because if we're doing the same thing, right?
Okay, 10 and 10 on the road.
Oh wow, barely 500. Wow.
Yeah, so the line seems about right. Reese Olson has been significantly
I know it
better
is.
than Michael Wacha. The Tigers' bats have been significantly better than the Royals' bats. And the Tigers' bullpen is probably about even with the Royals. I think it's still slightly better. I think the Tigers have the edge on every single aspect of the game here. And we're getting them as a short underdog. Yeah, Tigers money line.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. Look, first of all, I like playing the Royals just like Cleveland at home. Like I just said, 18 and 8 on the year. This team is playing really well right now. 7 and 3 their last 10. Just got done absolutely demolishing the Oakland the last series that they played. I think this bet comes down to Michael Wacha. Is Michael Wacha the Michael Wacha that we've seen to start the year, or is it the Michael Wacha that we've seen his last 2 starts on the road? At home, he hasn't been that great. I mean, he got lit up by Texas. He went 4 2/3 or 4 1/3 against Toronto. 8 hits, 2 runs. Probably should have given up more runs. My issue is Detroit. I feel like they're not playing as good as baseball as people are making them out to be. Trust me, I was playing on them in Arizona all 3 nights. I lost yesterday. It is what it is. But at the same time, they didn't score a run the previous 2 games before that series against Miami. They lost those 2 games. Like, I'm just not in a spot where I'm really worried about this Detroit offense. Arizona's kind of terrible, to be dead honest with you. So if you're going to give me Michael Wacha and this Royals team at home at a decent price with the full rested bullpen behind him, that none of them went yesterday. MacArthur looks fantastic. Schreiber looks awesome. Zerpa's throwing out Ks like no one's business. Yeah, I think this is a really good spot for Kansas City at home. Keep in mind the fact that Kansas City's already seen Reese Olson this year. I just don't think that Detroit's going to get on top of Wacha like they did on the road. So I'll take my chances here. Casey on the money line.
I thought that was crazy when they got on top of him. I was like, it's a baseball game. Can we not? There's kids.
Whatever.
But you never know.
I like the Tigers here. Someone said, Kyle, my buddy mentioned you graded your Nuggets bet as a win on your website. If you notice, if you look at that, there's no unit size in there. That means he hasn't gotten to that game. The guy who does the results, you mark it. If he counts it as a loss, it counts as -1 unit. So he must have done the results after the Knicks game and just left that one in there. If you see, it doesn't say, it has a win check, but it says for units earned, it has 0. So that just means he hasn't gotten there yet. Come on, man.
Wow. Wow, Kyle's fucking lying to you
it's
guys.
It's Scoop. So, I mean, you can
No.
go look. It says units earned 0, and it's just waiting for Scoop to go update it.
I mean, first of all, the pocket watching is fucking crazy. Second of all, Scoop's going through a hard time right now. Let's give the guy some break.
His friend's in the hospital. His brother's in the hospital, right?
Yeah, let's give the guy a fucking break. Okay, the most recent thing wasn't updated. Let's relax a little bit.
Sunday.
Yeah, let's relax a little bit. The pocket watching, again, out of control. So I'm gonna pass on this game. Do you want my reasoning? Yay or nay?
No.
Okay, good. On to the next.
I can tell you didn't want to give it. That's why.
No, I actually had some good reasoning to just pass on both.
Oh, you made it seem like you were like, I don't want to deal with this. All right.
No.
So 61% agree with Toast on Kansas City, just 29%. So I'm on a Tiger's Island here. Next up, Baltimore, St. Louis, and I think Toast would agree with me that I think the Cardinals are the right side. I'm just not jumping at the opportunity to lay minus 125 against Baltimore. But I think with Sonny Gray on the mound, Baltimore hasn't been seeing righty starters well. Dean Kramer making a road start against a red-hot Cardinals bat. I think all the reasoning points towards St. Louis being the play here, but then you take a step back and look at what you're doing, and you're like, wait a second, minus 125 against Baltimore, who's one of the best teams in the AL, and I'm just not crazy about that part. But the only way I would go is Cardinals, but I haven't bet it. Toast?
Cardinals first 5 run line for me at plus 100. I just think that this is a really good bounce back spot for Sonny Gray that's had 2 really bad starts on the road. His previous 3 starts at home, he had been fantastic. He saw this Baltimore team twice last year, had 1 good start, 1 bad spot. But like Sauce said, I think this is a Cardinal spot. I wanted to figure out how to get to him. And I think that this here in the first 5 is the best way to do it. Dean Kramer faced this Cardinals team last year, went 4 1/3, gave up 7 hits and 5 runs. I just don't think that he's that good. I understand that how he's performed well, and he continues to perform well. But I don't know how he does it. I'm just not a big Dean Kramer guy. It is what it is. And also, I'm not super impressed with what Baltimore's done over the last 10 games. I understand they won that series against Seattle. Those games could have went either way. They were okay against Toronto. They were okay against Arizona. Again, the last Washington win that went to extras. My point being is that Baltimore's winning games. I'm just not super impressed with how they're doing it. I think this is a great spot for Sonny Gray to pitch well here at home today. I think that if the Cardinals are going to score, they're going to score early. So I'll take my chances that they're winning after the 5.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the bet. I don't think I'm going to tail it, but I agree. Prop Beaver?
I think if I go anywhere here, it's Dean Kramer under 2.5 earned runs, minus 115 or pass. There is no graphic for this one. It's not a locked-in play of mine. I don't want to try to guess.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Under 2.5 earned runs allowed, minus 115 or pass. I don't really want to try to guess what Sonny Gray is going to do here. The last 2 starts were pretty dreadful. The Orioles bats were dead against righties, but all of a sudden in that series against the Mariners, maybe they didn't get runs on Castillo, but they got 8 base runners against him. They got to Kirby. They got to who opened that series? They got to the first righty they faced in that series. Bryce Miller. So they're showing signs of life against righties. And then on top of that, Dean Kramer has just been notably better on the road this season. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but on the road, he's looked really good. At home, he's looked horrible. I know overall, what do I think of Dean Kramer? Not the best pitcher, but some of these weird pitchers, some of these less talented guys, they just have these weird splits and you got to roll with them. I think that maybe Dean Kramer is going to be our little road warrior and he's going to be our shit pie at home that we just fade blindly. The Cardinals' recent great ranks against righties, yes, those are definitely a real thing. But are they a real thing against starting right-handed pitching? I mean, they've been held to 1 or less earned runs by the last 4 or 5 righties they've faced and held to 2 or less earned runs by the last 6 or 8 righties they've faced. I know that Dean Kramer got hit up by this team last year, but that's only a 1-game sample size. He's coming off a bad start. One thing I know going back to last year is that when Dean Kramer does allow a bunch of runs, like those 5+ runs, I did it the last time he did it earlier this season against the Brewers. He has a pretty good history of bouncing back. He allowed 3 runs his next start against KC, but the guy only allowed 5 base runners. That was pure bullshit. So I think that, honestly, I think that Kramer could hold him here. I just don't want to deal with backing Dean Kramer or these Cardinals bats that do the complete opposite of what I think they will. So, yeah, that's my lean.
All right, let's. I'm not going to bet this though. It sounds like Toast did bet it.
Oh, I bet it. And the reason is because Beaver's right. They haven't been great against the righty starters, but look at who those righty starters: Pavetta, Cutter Crawford, Ryan Bello, Griffin Canning, Freddie Peralta. There's one or two bad guys in there as well, but they've faced some pretty elite right-handed pitching. So,
all right, let's move on to the next game.
Very fair point. Very fair point. They struggle against guys who could strike out at a very high rate, and Kramer's only mediocre at that. So.
Angels.
I mean, it's a half unit play. I'm not going to try to.
No, I wouldn't lose sleep over.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I have a bet in this game? Am I the only one?
I don't have a bet in this game.
I
Oh,
don't
yes,
have a
no,
bet.
I do.
No,
I
I was
do. No, I do.
Gonna
have
say
a bet.
yes, you do.
Yeah, I don't have a side in this game. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I took the over here. So I don't know if it's still available, but I actually got an over at 7.5 at -120 on ESPN Bet. I would still take it at 8 though, in case that's all you can get now.
It is. It's 8 pretty much everywhere.
So I don't even think I need to explain to you guys how high the cliff was that Reed Detmers fell off, but this dude was dealing for his first handful of starts and has really fallen off. Not to mention he's making a road start at Houston, a team that's been top 3, top 5 against left-handed pitching every year for like 4 years now. So I really just don't have a ton of faith in Detmers coming in here to pitch well. And then the other side, Framber Valdez looked great in his last start, and maybe that is the beginning of his season turning around. Who knows? But you can't take away what this Angels team has done against left-handed pitching. They've been quietly producing, and it's actually kind of weird. The Angels are, I think they're 10th. I think they are a top 10 lineup against left-handed pitching, which is absolutely wild. But this Angels team continues to fly under the radar, produce, and score runs, and no one cares, and no one's talking about it. So despite maybe Framber Valdez season turning around, okay, in this particular one, I think the Angels will get to him. Now, he does have good history against the Angels, so that's a little iffy. But either way, even in the late innings, I expect runs to be scored. So like I said, I got this at 7.5. I would still play it at 8. I like the over.
Angels money line plus 180 for me. Look, I know that Reed Detmers has looked like garbage, but if that's the case, then why the hell is this total set at 7.5? I just truly believe that if Reed Detmers, as long as he doesn't get absolutely throttled here today, this game is going to be a coin flip coming into the later innings. I love Framber. He's probably one of my favorite pitchers in Major League Baseball. If you've watched this show or me, you know that. I don't have to go into that. He did face the Angels a few times last year. Matter of fact, this is going to be their 4th time seeing him in the last couple of years. They play in the division, so they've seen him a lot. The last time they saw him was in Anaheim. They got him to him a lot. They got to him for 5 runs. He strikes them out a lot, but he tends to give up runs. Houston's bullpen, on the other hand, they just lost Ryan Presley down to an injury. So you're not going to see him. You're not going to see Hader unless they're absolutely winning. Brian Abreu's went 2 of the last 3 days, and Taylor Scott went 30 pitches yesterday. Anaheim has their full bullpen rested and ready to go. I just think that this price is a little bit too crazy, considering this Anaheim team is, like Kyle said, really good against left-handed pitching. And then not to mention, they've also been good against left-handed pitching using his little chart against guys that have under a 3.5 ERA. Angels are top 5 offense against lefties in that. So I just feel like this price is a little bit insane. We know that Houston has struggled at home. They're 13-13 on the year this year, but they've also won like 7 games the last week against Oakland and 2 against Milwaukee. I just feel like the Angels are playing way, way better than people are giving them credit for. And at plus 180, I will gladly take my chances here.
If I was to bet aside, I would take a shot with the Angels, but I like the over more. Mr. Prop Beaver?
Toast, you might have just fucked around and maybe add this to my ticket. This was a consideration, but damn, that was a pretty good speech, man. I wanted to bet the over in this game last night at 8.5. It's at 7.5 on Fanatics right now. Yeah, I don't like the over in this game. Why? Because I think that the disaster that is Reed Detmers is about to have a good game here, people. His last 5 starts, horrendous, 8.46 ERA. But guess what? The 4.54 xFIP, that suggests some regression is coming. On top of that, recent history against the Astros, awful. Last 4 starts, 0-3, 9.68 ERA, 1.98 whip. But guess what? Let's just look at it in reality. The Astros are not producing against lefties right now, and the Angels are at an extremely high level. Last 5 lefties to face the Angels, 8.10 ERA, 1.71 WHIP, 1.93 home runs per 9. Last 7 to face the Astros, 2.7 ERA, 1.02 WHIP. The Angels, 6-2 against lefties this season. The Astros, 6-9 against lefties this season. The Angels bullpen has been excellent on the road. The Astros bullpen has been excellent at home. The Astros have smashed bullpens lately, but so have the Angels. I feel like if you're getting nearly plus 180, how do you not at least throw a schmeckle down and just pray to God and hope that you get a W here somehow? I feel like if you're a value better and you're betting dogs like me and Toast do, this has to be one of those plays. God, I did not want to put this on my ticket today, but fuck, I have to.
No.
Raid, please don't embarrass me on Twitter, man. This is going to be bad if he gets shelled. Yeah, I'm going with the Angels.
7-4 Astros, final score.
Cool.
All right. Let me get this up for Prop Beaver. He wants his Angels money line up. We will provide him that.
Yeah.
Next game is D-backs Dodgers. And I looked at this game briefly, and my thoughts were Dodgers minus 1.5 for pass. And I didn't bet it yet, but that's the only way I'd go. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is a bullpen day for Arizona, correct? He's not actually getting a start. He's just like
Yeah, you're going to
It's
have
actually
Go ahead, Beaver.
It's a Slade Ciccone day. It's a Joe
Oh,
Mantiply open, Slade Ciccone comes in type of deal. And you know who else did that? The Cincinnati Reds when they won the ball game 7-2.
Don't take my speech away from me. Stop right now. That is my speech. I've already put it on the website.
What is the correlation? Oh, so the Dodgers are bad against openers? Like, no. Makes no sense.
I'm just saying. I'm not,
money line for me, plus 200.
Yeah, this one will not be on my ticket. Toast, take it away.
This is on my ticket. Diamondbacks money line plus 200. This is the same type of situation that we saw against Cincinnati. You're going to have a lefty opener against the Dodgers with one of their aces on the mound. And I just think that this is a decent situation where we can get Mantiply to go a couple innings. As long as Slade Ciccone doesn't get absolutely throttled, then we're going to have mixed matching with Toy Lavello through the later innings. Everybody is available in that Arizona bullpen besides Ryan Thompson. And I'll take my chances with that against, I guess, Yoshinobu Yamamoto has been fantastic for the Dodgers, but he's looked a little bit vulnerable his last couple starts, especially coming off of that 8-inning performance in Miami. The Diamondbacks have already seen him once this year, which I think that gives them a little bit of an advantage. And then if you flip it over to the Dodgers bullpen, Hudson's went 2 of the last 3 days. Triton's went 2 of the last 3 days. Vesia went 27 yesterday. Michael Groves went 2 of the last 3 days. Ryan Yarbrough went 31 pitches yesterday. I just don't feel like the Dodgers should be favored like this. And if you're going to give me this Arizona team in a divisional matchup that just kind of looked like shit at home, and now this is their first game in a road trip, you goddamn right I'm going to bet them. Arizona money line plus 200.
Yeah, no. Dodgers minus 1. Yeah. The D-backs did just see Yamamoto. They didn't sniff his stuff. It would only be Dodgers for me. I didn't bet it, so I'm not going to sit here and like pound the table. I didn't bet it, but it would only be Dodgers for me. Oh, the poll I ran it is Dodgers. Let me rerun the poll. It's Dodgers minus 238, not 120. So I messed up the odds on the poll. Let me fix that.
D-backs or pass. Dodgers bats still not impressing me right now. 4 or less runs their last 8 of 11 games, averaging just 3.8. D-backs doing the same thing that Cincy did the other day, as we had mentioned. They're now going to face Yamamoto, second time this season. Already a bit familiar with him, and on top of that, the D-backs bats also haven't been downright pathetic for starting righties like they were for a little bit earlier this season. Look at the last 9 righties to face the D-backs. 1.67 WHIP, 5.4 ERA. So they're getting tons of guys on base. And what are they struggling a bit to do? Generate power? Well, Yamamoto doesn't allow too many guys on base, but struggles generating power. So I think that mix right there, a little bit of regression. He dominated in Arizona. Get a few runs from the D-backs here. I just feel like from a pure value perspective, how do you not take the D-backs at the plus 200? Am I in love with the bet? Absolutely not. Especially because the D-backs bullpen is so bad. I trust the Reds bullpen way more than I trust the D-backs bullpen. But I think that if you're a value better, if you like to bet the dogs like we do, this is a dog you bet.
Also, again, Arizona's plus 200, but Yamamoto a little bit more susceptible to righties, and that's Marte, Walker, Gurriel, Suarez, Marino. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess me and the community are on the Dodgers. You guys are on the
Trust me, I love being betting the Dodgers. All
right. Let's do a community top bet here. And let's pull up the options. All right, so the first game is Mets Guardians, and the community likes the Guardians there. Padres Braves. Oh, no, doubleheader, we're skipping. Brewers Marlins, they like the Brewers. Twins Nationals, they like the Nationals. Nationals down to plus 120. Oh, no, I'm sorry, plus 135, plus 130.
Whoa, I was going to be like, whoa.
Did they like the Rays or Red Sox? Do you guys remember? It doesn't matter. They're not going to vote for it anyway. No, there was split. It was split down the middle. And it was the Rays. I actually do remember that they like the Rays. So, all right, cast your votes. First finalist for the community top bet.
Spags.
It looks like Cleveland. It looks like everyone's down to fade the Mets here. So yeah, first finalist is Cleveland.
Cleveland.
I like that Reed Detmer's earned runs line is only at 2.5 and not 3.5.
Oh,
Tells me.
Does a team's error percentage affect that?
Say that again?
If a team has bad defense and make errors,
I have not even the slightest bit of a clue.
you think?
Yeah.
But I do sometimes look for that though.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, well, this defense kind of sucks behind
So,
him,
like,
but it could also hurt you too, because if the judge rules that it's not an error, it's like, fuck, well, I just got the dog shit defense and it didn't even help me.
That's the thing with the earn run things is that you're kind of susceptible to the scorekeeper. I mean, usually, yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes though.
Well, that's why I only bet the under, because I feel like it only helps me at that point. If you're
I
betting
agree
the
with
over, that's the way you get burnt. I feel
would
like
agree
betting
with that.
over earned runs makes 0 sense.
Yes,
Why would
I would agree with that as well.
Why the hell would I want my runs earned?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so
I never thought of it like that. That's touche.
Yeah.
Not that I bet that market, but yeah.
So Dodgers minus 1.5. This is the finalist right here. So it's Dodgers minus 1.5, Yankees money line, or Guardians money line. What is the community top bet? Cast your votes.
It's got to be the Yankees. It's going to be the Yankees.
I think it's going to be the Yankees too. It's been the Yankees 3 straight days, and it's hit 3 straight days.
Name broke, don't fix it.
Yep. And the Yankees are running away with it. I'll give it another 5 seconds, but it's Yankees.
Oh, Lord.
5, 4, 3. Yep, it's Yankees. So the community top bet for the 4th consecutive day is the Yankees. This time it's just a money line, though, not a minus 1.5. So the community top bet looking for 4 straight hits here. Thanks, everyone. Oh, did you do an underdog or not, Prop Beaver?
Yes, I did. I sent it to you.
All right, let's do that real quick before we head out.
You can't smell it cooling.
Yeah, I've been wafting it over here.
Where's my underdog graphics here? Where the heck is it? There we go. Got it. Oh, whoops. There we go. All right. So let's get to Prop Beaver's underdog. You emailed it to me.
Oh, and some people are looking for hitter parlays. 3 guys I'm looking at: Nicky Lopez, Taylor Ward, Bobby Witt Jr.
All right, Prop Beaver, you have the floor.
All right, Chief. So for this one, we got a 4-picker. I'm going with Ryan Weathers higher than outs. He has been pitching pretty decently this season, and the Brewers against lefties, besides Martin Perez, have not scared me at all whatsoever. I think he has a pretty decent outing here. I think he gets some Ks. I think he goes deep into this ball game, so went with higher there. Mitchell Parker, lower than 2.5 earned runs allowed. Twins offense against lefties, I feel, is drastically overrated due to a hot stretch. Like the lower there. Logan Gilbert, lower than fantasy points. Even if he doesn't allow runs to the Yankees are really good at limiting Ks, getting guys out of the game early with their plate discipline. So I like the lower there. And then Dean Kramer, lower than 2.5 earned runs allowed. Cardinals, despite hitting well against righties overall, not doing so much against starting right-handed pitching. Kramer's good at bounce back. So those are our 4 picks today.
All right, and if you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, it's available in any state highlighted in this map. So if you're in one of these states highlighted in yellow, head over to the website, Underdog Fantasy, or download the app. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you a $100 deposit bonus batch. So if you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100 to play with. Everyone, thanks for watching. Tomorrow I'll be back at the same time. It's Tuesday, which is a great baseball night. You also got playoff NBA coming back. So yeah, same time tomorrow. I'll be uploading some videos tonight. Everyone remember to bet responsibly. I'm also going to upload oh no, my picks are already up there. I'm not going to add any more. So the 3 picks I uploaded to the website, those are the 3 I'm rocking with. I'm not adding anymore. So they're all posted on KyleKirms.com. Bet responsibly tonight. Talk to you guys later.
Have a good night, guys.